In 19th century, industrial technology developed very fast, which caused a bad situation for workers in England. One organization showed up to fight against the unfair treatment. They were called Luddites, whose leader had a fictitious name, Ludd. In this video, we will introduce the Luddites and talk about the influence of their movement. First of all, what is Luddites? The original meaning of Luddites refers to a group of workers participating in a famous movement of destroying machines in England during 19th century. Now, it has been used to describe people who are conservative and against technology.
Now, let's know about the progress of Ludd's movement. This scene began in Nottingham in 1811 from textile industry. Many workers destroyed the machine and explained their action through verbal complaint and written notice. The aim of Ludd was being widely spread, and quickly the first death happened. Several months later, this movement spread to other areas, including Yorkshire and Lancashire. The movement became more violent and caused a strong response from the government, which led several people being arrested and died in the movement. The Luddite movement finally came to an end for two reasons. Firstly, the increasing pressure from the government and the number of army and spaces led more harassment and execution. Secondly, the bloc from France during the wartime has replaced, which leads to improvement of trade and ease the living condition of workers in England.
Although the Luddite movement is over, people never stop thinking about it. Many people think the Luddites in history are members who simply against the technology innovation to preserve their job. However, the fact is much complicated than what they thought. Here are four main factors. The first one is the bad economic situation. At that time, the market of England is dependent on the foreign countries like the French and America. While the war with the French and the terrible relationship with America has directly impacted the trend and led to the economic depression in England, which finally resulted in the increase of the price of daily goods and decrease of the salary for workers. The second is the non-alternative way to support the life. The policy have prevented the possibility for workers to use the common land as a result for agriculture, which can supplement some food and clothes. The workers can only depend on the goods on the market and use their salary to buy them. The third one is no social security system. At that time, there is no social security system. When workers face the unemployment, they may endure homeless, starvation, or poverty without any support to give them time to find another job. The last one is the worsening market complication. Some machine owners apply the machine in bad aim. What they really want is not increase the efficiency and the quality, rather than use the machine to produce the low quality product, and the highly skilled worker with low salary to replace the former high skilled worker. This action may disrupt the market order and induce the whole quality and reputation of the whole market. All these four factors combine together, and the terrible learning condition of the workers, which force them to take action, impress their basic rights for survival, and get a deserved payment which corresponds to them skills and maintain the quality and reputation of the market. The machine is the only breakthrough for them to release the anger.
Here we want to talk about the outcome and the influence of the Luddite movement. The first one is political and legal aspect, making the sprawling ruling system stricter and more robust. Laws that injure rights are repealed. The workers alone to band together against the authority, and their campaign become more organized and disciplined. The second influence is about the literature aspect. Anti-technology began to consider it as a topic for authors. The third influence is the thought aspect. The Luddite movement enabled people to rethink the influence caused by technology innovation and make them become more cautious to treat with novel technology. The Luddite movement also resolved some ethical questions. From the official aspect, it is a totally illegal action. The destruction caused by the Luddites not only resulted in massive economic loss, but also caused several deaths and chaos to the society. From the Luddite aspect, the movement is a reasonable road to explain their complaint and defend the right. At that time, the workers have been separated and the law is against workers to organize together. As a result, workers lack a strong union to express their voice and own high bargain pressure with employers. They do not have a way to negotiate with employers through a legal and peaceful way. In addition, the beliefs of the movement have been Luddite. Consider it as a way which is similar to the conventional hero Robin Hood, to rob rich and assist poor, which is a total ethical action to achieve fair and justice. And for the resident aspect, the initial Luddite movement have won enough support from the resident. Although this support may partly from the fear of revenge, the real sympathy is existed. Since the resident regard the movement as an ethical action to defend basic living standards of workers, however, when the later movement become violent and out of control, the residents start to consider the movement as unethical and provide information to the government. The invention of the textile machine caused some workers in the 19th century to lose their jobs. The development of artificial intelligence and internet technology in 2021 also created great productivity, just as the textile machines of this era gradually replaced the craftsmen in various industries. Artificial intelligence can help us to translate text from one language to another, and the junior translators will face unemployment. The digital transformation of various enterprises has made the financial statement of the enterprise into software, so that so many accountants are no longer required to perform manual calculations. Electric vehicles and autonomous driving are also developing rapidly. In the near future, drivers will most likely not continue to survive as a profession in the workplace, and the driving will be completed by machines. Under the tide of the times, the workers in this position are no longer needed, just like the workers in the 19th century, and have nowhere to go. In today's society, due to the restrictions of laws and regulations, people may not express their dissatisfaction by damaged machines like the workers in the 19th century. However, the contradiction also needs to be resolved. The government needs to set up better policies to help them relearn other skills to earn wages. Schools also need to predict and guide future career change. Luddite movement is over, but the spirit of these workers will stay, and unjust legal regulation and abnormal relations between workers and capitalists will always exist. With the development of science and technology, various occupations are likely to be replaced, but the establishment of strong labor unions and the promotion of laws that are beneficial to workers are always needed and are the only way to solve these problems.
So, what is the core thought behind the Luddite movement? In fact, the machine was only a route for Luddites to release their anger and complaint. What they really against was not the machine, not the technology innovation itself. Since in their own mind, they know that the technology innovation is an inevitable tendency and cannot be against by the will of a group of people. What they really want is protecting basic living standard of workers during the technological changing time of an industry. The technology innovation itself is a neutral thing. The point is how people treat the technology innovation and utilize the technology innovation to influence others. What Luddites pursued the machine do not be treated as a tool to increase the profit for sacrificing the workers' right. The workers should be given time to adjust to the new condition and maintain their basic life during the changing.
The Luddite movement is famous since it enabled people to rethink the technology innovation and make people to consider other aspects just like the human values in the technology. According to Nolan 2020, what Luddite defend was not just a job and basic living condition, but also the important human value in the work. In modern world, the automation has been widely applied to many industries to replace the human labors. Many people may consider that, compared with machine, human is totally in a disadvantaged position, and in the future, human labor may be obsoleted. However, Nolan argued that the human value in the work may not be simply replaced by the machine. For example, some job like spinning or quizzing was not just a simple technology solution. It is also related to the culture, origin, and inheritance. The human value enables the work to become diverse and full of creativity, which allows the job to full of innovation and even become a kind of art. As a result, the work cannot just be simply considered as a final goal for capital to pursue the profit. It is also a necessary part for humans to realize their talent, imagination, ability, and contribute to the world. And there are also other important groups which is similar to the Luddites to make us think about the human aspect of technology. For example, the Amish, a group of people which are very conservative attitude to the technology, has a debate on the application of cell phone, since it is a kind of technology that makes people close together but also separate from each other. The original aim for the telephone is to make the communication easier. People in different locations could contact with each other and share the information. However, as a rapid development of the telephone, the current smartphone now perform much more functions than its original ones. Now people are more willing to use smartphones to communicate with each other. Even when people meet in the real world, they may use their smartphones separately, rather than have a face-to-face talk with each other. The telephone has deeply influenced the way for the communication with each other. It makes the communication become convenient on one hand, but also bring the distance to each other and take away some sincere human emotion. In brief, the Luddite movement demonstrated that technology innovation was always not a simple technical problem. The core problem is the attitude of humans, how we treat this technology, how we balance the different interests of stakeholders to achieve a harmony outcome, how we balance our human values and the power of machine.
After the Second Industrial Revolution, with the active working class, European and American had successfully introduced many protection bills for employed workers, including public services such as 8 working hours, dismissal subsidies, unemployment subsidies, and skills training to changing jobs to help those unemployed workers suffered from the impact of new technologies find jobs again, making irrational and violent movements like the Luddites slowly disappear in history. But today, many people still claim to be new Luddites. They worry that, after the emergence of artificial intelligence and new internet technologies, there will be concentrated and large-scale unemployment in the society, and the widening of the gap between the rich and the poor, which will lead to social unrest. Therefore, they firmly oppose the development of science and the technology. Among them is the American genius scientist Kaczynski, who has an IQ of 167 and was admitted to the Department of Mathematics at Harvard University at the age of 16. After graduating from a bachelor's degree, it just took a few months to get his doctorate. In order to resist the development of new technology, he resolutely lived in a seclusion and mailed bombs to famous American scientists for 18 consecutive years, causing 3 deaths and 20 injuries. He mailed a letter to the American newspaper saying that if he could publish his academic papers, he would stop the terrorist attacks. And that paper, published in the New York Times and Washington Post, was called Industrial Society and Its Future. In the paper, he said, "In the industrial society, human beings are either directly controlled by highly intelligent machines or controlled by a few elites behind the machines." Well, here is the reference list. I hope you have a general understanding of Luddites. Thank you for watching this video.